Hi guys, welcome to the Wrestling Retrospective. I'm Leo, and in this video I'll be doing my predictions for NXT Deadline. So first up we have Carmelo Hayes taking on Lexus King. For me, I have Lexus King take the win on this one, mainly because I feel like this might be, or at least it should be, near the swan song of Carmelo Hayes in NXT. And I feel like, you know, as everyone knows, the wrestling trope is when you leave somewhere, or in NXT's case, be called up to the main roster, you go out on your back. And I don't feel like this is the last thing he'll do. He'll probably have a loss to Trick Williams, but I feel like he's going to lose more than he wins while he's on his way out, in my opinion anyway. Plus, Lexus King needs the momentum building if he's going to be like a main part of NXT going forward, which I feel like he's going to be. You know, he's had some pretty, he had a good debut at Halloween Havoc. He's been involved in like probably one of the biggest storylines in NXT at the minute, with the stuff between Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams. Therefore, it makes sense for me that Lexus King gets the better of Carmelo Hayes here. Carmelo then maybe goes on to get involved in the Iron Survivor match to cost Trick Williams maybe. But as I said, I think for me it makes most sense for Lexus King to get the win here, just so we can build up his momentum towards championships in the future. Following that, we have Roxan Perez taking on Kiana James inside of a steel cage. For me, I've got Kiana James to get the win here, more or less because Roxan Perez had such a good year last year, obviously winning the breakout tournament, winning the Iron Survivor match this time last year. It feels for me like they put so much stock into Roxan Perez that they kind of need to shift on to other people now. You know, we know that Roxan Perez is by far a mainstay in the main event scene of the NXT Women's Division, and I think it's only a matter of time till she gets called up to the main roster. Whereas Kiana James kind of needs a bit more momentum before maybe a call up, and I don't want them to call Kiana up too early. You know, for me, Kiana James has the look and the physique and the athleticism to be a very good woman to have on the main roster. And I mean, to be fair, probably a former future women's champion. Like, the presentation, everything that she has is brilliant. I'm very much a fan of it. And next year could be a huge year for her if booking is on her side, pretty much. But, you know, for me, I think we start off here with a big match win on the last Premium Live event of the year, with her defeating Roxan Perez inside the steel cage. Next up, we have Dominic Mysterio defending the North American Championship against Dragon Lee. For me, I've got Dominic to win this one. I feel like if it was Wesley going into this one, I would have probably predicted Wesley to get the win, but because he suffered a bad injury, as it was announced on NXT this past week, he's no longer in the match, and Dragon Lee took his place, and Rey Mysterio announced it because they just can't separate Rey Mysterio and Dominic. But yeah, just because of the last minute addition, and Dragon Lee's been doing so much on the main roster now as he made his pay-per-view debut at Survivor Series, it doesn't make much sense to have him be the one to take the title from Dominic Mysterio. There's no point in having someone who is on the main roster and sometimes in NXT take the title from somebody who is on the main roster but sometimes in NXT. It makes more sense overall to have someone who is fully in NXT to take the title from Dominic Mysterio, and then it goes back to be on NXT all the time and not on the main roster. Who that person's going to be, I have no idea. Like, I would have possibly had Nathan Fraser do it, but he didn't win against Dominic. So yeah, I don't know whether they wait till Wesley comes back, but I'm not sure how long Wesley is out for. The minute it just seems indefinitely. But yeah, I'm sure they'll build someone. Maybe Alexis King can take the title from Dominic Mysterio. But yeah, I just can't see Dominic losing this one, to be fair. Ever since it was changed to Dragon Lee, I can't see it happening. Therefore, I have Dominic to remain the North American champion. Following that, we have the Men's Iron Survivor match, which is Bron Breakker, Dijak, Josh Briggs, Trick Williams and Tyler Bate. The concept itself of Iron Survivor is absolutely fantastic. The matches last year were brilliant. So very much looking forward to the match itself, the men's and the women's. But for me, Josh Briggs is not winning. Like, absolutely not. I can't see him winning. I can't see Dijak winning either. I know that he's had like issues with Ilya Dragunov, but I'm sure they'll do that at some point down the line. Anyway, I can't see him winning this one. Tyler Bate, I would love for him to get the win. I'm a big fan of Tyler Bate. I think he's absolutely fantastic and probably should be on the main roster at this point. But if they're going to utilise him better on NXT, I don't mind him staying down there. But I can't see him winning either. I just don't think he has the momentum towards it. For me, it comes down to Bron Breakker or Trick Williams. And for myself, I'm going to pick Trick Williams to get the win here just because his momentum alone, how over he is, you know, that's what's going to get him the win here. I feel like there might be some shenanigans with Carmelo Hayes, but Bron Breakker might get involved with that as well and maybe stop Carmelo going after Trick. Or maybe nothing will happen between those two and they'll just save it for TV. But for me, though, Bron Breakker, I think is going to have a very good performance in this one. And I think the way he's been a heel and so violent and vicious at the minute, it makes sense for him to start the match maybe with Josh Briggs. But for me, Trick Williams is getting the win here, just due to just how over he is. The fans will absolutely pop when he gets the win as well. And yeah, it'll be a huge moment for him. Do I think he's going to take the title from Ilya Dragunov? Maybe. I feel like the way to go for that would be a kind of triple threat match and have it be Carmelo, Trick and Ilya. Maybe a stand and deliver or something like that would be quite cool. Maybe not, it's quite a while before stand and deliver. But either way, I feel like the way to go would be for Trick Williams just because for a big fanfare moment, and he fully deserves it as well. Next up, we have the Women's Iron Survivor match, which is Kalani Jordan, Lash Legend, Fallon Henley, I can never remember her name, Blair Davenport, and Tiffany Stratton. For me, Lash Legend, Kalani Jordan, and Fallon Henley are not winning this match. I can't see them getting the win. I feel like Kalani Jordan is a real odd one out here. Like, she lost the breakout tournament, but now she's in Iron Survivor. Like, Lola Vice hasn't even had her title match yet, and Kalani Jordan could be winning a title match as well. Like, that doesn't really make much sense to me. But, you know, I think the alternatives for having in that spot, probably Thea Hale, I think fully deserved this year to be an Iron Survivor. Maybe JC Jane, Gigi Dolan, you know, all these kind of people would have been a better fit than these three. Like, imagine how good this match had been if it was Tiffany Stratton, Blair Davenport, Gigi Dolan, JC Jane, and Thea Hale. Like, what a match that would have been. But we got this one instead. I don't think it's going to be a bad match. I actually think this one's going to be match of the night. But MVP for the night, I think, is going to be Tiffany Stratton. I think this match complements how she wrestles perfectly. You know, having the multi-woman works really well. Her athleticism, stamina, all that stuff is going to work in her favour massively. I think she's going to have a similar performance to how Grayson Waller did last year when he kind of got the winning fall, but there was still time left, so he just ran around for ages. And we know that Tiffany Stratton is a top quality athlete. And I feel like they might go a similar way with that one, where she steals a win at the last minute, or maybe steals a win and just avoids everybody, but then is still breaking up pins. But still, like, these matches are incredibly fun to watch. Like, if you haven't watched any of last year's Iron Survivor matches, go and watch them. They are fantastic. But yeah, for me, I have Tiffany Stratton to get the win here, just because I kind of feel like her losing the title to Becky Lynch still has that door open for her to have a second reign, and a very dominant reign at that. Again, she's main roster built and ready. Whenever they want to call her up, she will fit nicely in there. Maybe after WrestleMania, maybe next year's WrestleMania. But yeah, I can't wait to see Tiffany Stratton have matches with the women on the main roster. And yeah, so for me, it did come down to two women in this one, with Blair Davenport and Tiffany Stratton. But I feel like Nikita Lyons is going to cost Blair Davenport the match, therefore leaving it open for Tiffany Stratton to get the win. And yeah, I think Tiffany Stratton will make a great champion again. She did the first time, and she definitely deserved a better reign than she got. I mean, her reign was still good, but losing to Becky, I feel like was a demotion rather than a promotion, and she can do so much more in a second reign, in my opinion. And finally, we have Ilya Dragunov defending the NXT Championship against Baron Corbin. For me, I think quite simply it comes down to I can't see Baron Corbin winning. Like, I don't think he would be the great fit to have as NXT champion right now. For me, NXT does feel like developmental still, and not like that third brand, even though we've had people from the main roster come up and down on the regular, you know, Alpha Academy, Becky Lynch, Baron Corbin, all these people, and I don't know, I just can't see Baron Corbin leading it. I can understand why people might think he would be, just because of how dominant Gunther's been. Maybe a possible WrestleMania opponent would be Ilya Dragunov. But then for me, it makes sense for Dragunov to lose the title maybe closer to WrestleMania. Maybe doesn't make it to Stand and Deliver. But as I said, there's plenty of time to call up Ilya Dragunov. You know, have him appear in the Rumble and go face to face with Gunther, but then have him go back down to NXT to defend the championship and lose it there. That kind of thing. But yeah, just nothing for me leads to Baron Corbin winning and becoming the new NXT champion. For me, it sticks with Ilya Dragunov. I'm sure it'll be a great match because I don't think Ilya Dragunov can ever put on a bad match. But yeah, for me, it's not going to be Baron Corbin taking the title from Ilya Dragunov. It'll probably be more of an up-and-comer, like a Trick Williams, like a Lexus King, to take the title from Ilya Dragunov, in my opinion anyway. But yeah, it should be a good match, but Dragunov retains it. So those are my predictions for NXT Deadline this weekend. Do put in the comments who you think is going to get the wins this weekend, if we're going to get a new champion, who you think is going to win the Iron Survivor matches. And yeah, just any feedback from me in general will be much appreciated. I hope you all enjoy the show, and I'll thank you all for watching. Do like, subscribe, comment, share, all that good stuff. Follow the Instagram, _wrestling_retrospective. I'll see you guys in the next video. Once again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you later.